Hi, this is a solo ranked arena with my Sentinel Seanir, and I'm playing Watchman. And this video is all one arena, so it goes the full 3 rounds. And a point I wanted to make in this video was that there's more to PvP than knowing how to play your class and knowing how to counter other classes. You also have to know how to play with the classes that are on your team. So, for example, I have a healer on my team and a ranged DPS. What can I do to help them out if they're getting focused? So I've talented into the root on Master Strike, so if they're being chased by some melee DPS I could root them more. Is my stun going to be useful because maybe I have 2 people playing Madness or whatever the equivalent names are on my team, so they'll have dots on everyone. Is it going to be useful, or is it just going to fill up their resolve bar? So here's some terrible positioning by this Sork. Comes in on his own, the healer's not within range, and we get some good burst damage on him. So the healer starts healing him, and then there was an excellent knockback there from, I think it's the Shadow. The Sork that had the bad positioning at the beginning probably thought he was going to get some heals, but because of that knockback he didn't, so he hadn't popped his bubble and we managed to kill him. So that was pretty much a good game for the first round. A small mistake such as the positioning at the beginning there is enough to win the game for us, and that knockback as well was really good. So the operative DPS from the other team are still doing a really good job of focusing or pressuring our sages, especially our DPS sage who died there, and they managed to get him down despite us having a 4v3 advantage. So at this point I was a bit conflicted whether to go on the operative or on the healer. Usually you would say go on the healer, but I knew that this operative was good enough to kill our sage healer if our healer didn't get any help. So let's just use my stun there to stop the operative, and then use Master Strike to keep him out of range of our healer. And then once their healer got low, then the other two and the other DPS had been working on the healer when I switched over to the healer. I was more concerned about keeping our healer alive than I was about killing their healer, because over a long amount of time we should, in theory, win easily with 3v2. So I was just helping out our healer on the operative, and then whenever our shadow managed to get their healer low, I'd switch over and try and help finish him off. That was a good first round. As I said at the beginning, it was pretty much decided by that bad positioning from the DPS Sork on the other team. But the operatives did manage to nearly turn it around by killing our Sage DPS. One thing to note, if you take the talent that builds 30 stacks of censoring when you use Introspection, make sure you don't use Introspection at the end of a round. Wait until you're in the spawn area, because there's an internal cooldown on it. So if you start using Introspection before you get into the spawn area, then you won't be able to build those stacks of centering once the 2nd or 3rd round starts. So here's some, again, questionable positioning, this time from the healer. He probably knew that the operatives were both there, but we made him bubble really quickly. So I got my ore off at the beginning there a few seconds ago. I'd noticed that no dots had been spread, so it was a time where my ore would actually be useful. But unfortunately the burst from the 2 operatives was too much for our healer, and he went down. So I managed to get a dot spread off there, and we pretty much needed to kill the healer, otherwise we would never win. But it just never happened, really. So despite that positioning error again from the other team, they managed to hold firm, and the operative burst came through on our healer. I could have stopped fighting here, but I quite enjoy carrying that, even though I just wasted my pack. Can be quite fun to get the healer down when it's 1v4. Some decent damage from me there, but often it doesn't matter how much damage you pump out. If you can't keep your healer alive or one of your DPS alive, then that matters more. So I typed in chat here, sages help each other out with pull. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the video. You need to know how to play with the classes that are on your team. If one of the sages is in trouble, the other one can be 30 meters away from them and pull them away from the two operatives and literally save them. Like, that could be the difference in a round. Sage pull is so useful and is used very rarely in arenas. It saved my life lots of times in arenas. So I saw the operative here, but didn't manage to react quick enough to pop them out of stealth. That was a questionable breaker from me. My reasoning was that I didn't want our healers to be burst down straight away by the operatives whilst I was applying no pressure. But, in the end I didn't even go for the operatives, I went for their SWTOR DPS. So our healer managed to survive that initial onslaught from the operatives, and sticking to the plan that we had decided in chat, I was on the SWTOR DPS with our Sage DPS. There were several occasions there where our healer was getting really low and our other Sage could have easily pulled him away from trouble, but he didn't. But we managed to stabilise here, and this should have been the game for us, but just some coordinated stuns from those two operatives, and they managed to get our healer pretty much from 100 down to 0. Another occasion where if our Sage DPS had been paying attention, I'm not calling them out or anything, like, it's a hard thing to notice and something you need to get used to, but if he had noticed that our healer was stunned, he could have run away and pulled him out of trouble, and the game would have carried on. So we got our healer here. It was briefly 3v2, but our Sage went down, so here it was 2v2. That was a good flashbang and a good vanish, and if that hadn't happened we could have got one of those operatives down. So here it was 2v1. I wasn't sure whether to go for the one that was really low that had run away or the one closest to me. In the end I decided to vanish. They didn't know which one I was going for, and then go for this one because it was low. The stun was a bit unnecessary here, probably should have saved it for this operative, but even after using my med pack he got a big crit from his is it volatile substance, I think it's called. I had dots on him, there was really no chance for that guy by the force that I was going to win here, so that was well played from him. Yeah, so the point that I pretty much wanted to make from this was know how to play with the classes that are on your team. If you have 2 ranged DPS and you're a Sage, use your pull when they're in trouble. If you know that you have lots of dot specs on your team, then Ore's not necessarily going to be useful and you're probably just filling up the resolve bar of the other team. Things like that. Can you root someone that's focusing your ranged DPS or your healer? So that was a pretty good game. It was really close. I enjoy that kind of game, so I hope you liked it too. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to get notifications whenever I upload new videos. My next video is number 100, which is exciting, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.